My name is Michael Koran, and this is Aha, a human among humans. It's quite a journey, isn't it? I have a poem, song. Oh, you can see both of us. Right. And I have it written out. Who's that knocking at our door? There's a power like a shower, healing wounds, soothing pain. There's a force like a horse carrying us on its mane. There's a love like a glove caressing all our pores, from a self that's an elf, opening all closed doors, with an urge that surges, exploding buried ore, flying us with the birds who were once dinosaurs. What is this power knocking at our door? What is this power knocking at our door? Maybe we can be quiet and see if we ask that question, if there any answers come. We've been told, ask and you'll receive, seek and you will find, knock and the door will be open. It's an amazing promise. Ask for what we want, hopefully for what we really want. It's hard to know, or maybe not. Ask and we'll receive. Seek and we will find. Knock and the door will be open. Wow, that's a miracle to have discovered that. To believe that. Ask. We can ask for what we want now. Right? Be careful what you wish for. Ask and we'll receive. Seek, we'll find. Knock, and the door will be open. Oh my. I find that true. I think that could be true for all of us. I remember once at Quaker meeting, where we sit in silence until the Spirit knocks at our door and wants to speak through us, supposedly. We believe it. Why not? And one woman gets up. Never seen her there before or since. She has very thick red lipsticks, She's mascaraed, powdered all over her face. Life has been a challenge for her. It's apparent in her raggedy coat open in the meeting. And she says, "We've been told with God, nothing's impossible. And I want to tell you, with God, everything is possible beyond our imagination." Which is true. It's also the good, the bad, and the ugly. But we might not want to dwell on that on this midwinter day. So there's a power. That's a shower. Healing wounds, soothing pain. I had some skin cancer, and they took out it's been the size of $50 almost, $2.25 and $50 out of my left shin. They have what's called Mohs, and they take out make a cut to take away the skin cancer, look at it under the microscope and see, oh, there's cancer at the edge of the cut. We've got to cut wider. Now, while I'm saying this, there's a challenge. My bicycle helmet, it's hard to get both lights to turn off. I'm seeking, and I found. So with God, everything is possible or probable. Healing wounds. And that wound, that big $50 wound, it took about 4 months of not doing anything but cleaning it and putting a bandage on it. And the skin, the tissues, the blood, they knew what to do. How could that be? I certainly couldn't. They knew all the things they had to do to grow new skin. Go figure, or we couldn't. And my doctor knew. She said it would be healed by Thanksgiving. It took till January, but it's finally, you wouldn't know. I mean, even a little cut. And does the body know how to, unless there's little elves that know how to fix it. Even every moment, right? Our body's nourishing us, getting rid of waste. What a blooming miracle. Who could ask for more? We can. Ask and we'll receive. Seek. Oh, we can't just ask and get it though. We probably have to do all three, aren't it? Ask and we'll receive. Seek and we'll find. Knock and the door will be open. Or in my case, the wound will be healed. So there are powers in us, at least, really through us. I mean, we exist because of the sun. The food we eat is condensed sunlight. Could be every bite is a communion with the universe. And eventually we go back to the ground, our food, for the worms, the fish who eat the worms, the people who eat the fish, and around we go, and where we stop, nobody knows. Which is nice to live in wonder, yes? Not easy. We think we like to know, but we've discovered it's surprising, not always pleasant. Can we enjoy it when it's not pleasant? Boy, that would be something. Rumi says, the Sufi mystic, he would spin around and words would come out of his mouth and the students would write them down. And he said, greet whatever comes at the door, we have a door again, laughing. Malice, greed, hate, or love, each has been sent as a gift from beyond. Wow. Whatever we're feeling at this very moment is a gift, just like my little tailors knew how to sew my wound or any cut we have, or to wake us up in the morning, or to give us some sleep at night. Powers beyond us. Are there powers really beyond us? Is it all in us? Well, no, we need the sun, which is just one star in our huge Milky Way, which has millions of suns, imagine, sending their rays to us. Are they loving rays? Fighting rays? We have it all in us. We seem, Martin Luther King said he would not lie to us. The arc of history is long, but it bends toward justice. Can we count on powers beyond us? Many religions say, ultimately their love, wisdom, well, certainly what healed my wound on my shin. So it appears that there's loving wisdom, healing wisdom, way beyond us. You can remember next time you have a cut. There's a power that's a shower, healing wounds, soothing pain. There's a force that's a horse carrying us on its mane. Yum. A force? Well, are we moved? When we're moved beyond our ordinarily understanding. There's a force that's a horse. I came on a bike, not a horse. There's a force, but horse rhymes with force. I'm not sure what would rhyme with bike. But are we carried? Are we moved beyond ourselves? I'd love to think of an example for you. Move beyond ourselves. Well, I had this time to come and talk to you. It was not my wish at this snowy evening to bike through the snow, but that's not it. There are callings. Make a better world. A friend of mine was called, she felt, to go to Minnesota and protest the Line 3 pipeline. What do we feel called to do? Is there a force, a power calling us? Do we listen to it? Israel means to wrestle with God so we can hear it and have a conversation. In the Bible, Abraham tries to convince Yahweh to be more just when Yahweh wanted to destroy Sodom. And Abraham said, "You're a just God. You wouldn't destroy the innocent with the wicked." Although that's what we're seeing. That's what we're seeing. There's an idea in Judaism called the Lamed Vavniks, 36. There are 36 just people, maybe on your block, maybe in your life, who take on, maybe you and me, who take on more than our fair share of suffering. So our friends and family can have a little less, assuming that suffering is like, comes in 5, 10 pound, 1 pound, 1 ounce bags. And some of us, well, I'll take some more, so my brother doesn't have as much. Although maybe every interaction we have, which for some of us like me is challenging, human beings, how to relate to them. Easier for me now, you're not here, it's on television. But maybe each interaction, we might be taking on some of the pain of other people and maybe responding politely. Maybe responding politely, even when they yell at us. I said thank you when someone said, "Don't bike on the sidewalk," but it was dark out and snowy. I was afraid of the cars. I just said thank you. She was right. She had to take on her more than her fair share of suffering, her and her dog, because of me wanting to be here on time for you, but also not wanting to be embarrassed, to be late for the TV show. There's a love like a glove, caressing all our pores. I mean, the air is really loving us, caressing us, nourishing us, delicious and nutritious. Thank you, air. It's hard to think of all these ways to be grateful when we're not feeling happy, I'm feeling angry, irritated, but can we learn, like Rumi said, to welcome whatever feelings come? They're teaching us something, I hope. We can ask. My beloved friend Michelle Scow has a mantra that I remind her of. It's very challenging. But you can do it. We're from Cambridge, we can do anything. In Cambridge, anything is possible, probable. I think that's what you said. With God, everything is probable. Might have messed up that story. The mantra is, why is this happening for me? Gee. Why is this happening for me? There's a self that's an elf, opening all closed doors. So what is our self? There's a psychology called internal family systems. My therapist is a fan that says we have a self that's compassionate and curious and courageous. And one interviewer said, that sounds a little too pat, all those C's. And the founder, Dr. Richard Schwartz, retreated and said, okay, it's really, we have a field. We're really a field of forces. There's so much of us we don't know. It can include courage and compassion as the energies in that field. So there's a mischievous energy. Let's open, there's a closed door, let's see what's behind it. Famous play, of course, Oedipus wants to find out who killed the king, and it was him. So it takes a lot of courage, brings a lot of challenge, we'll call it kindly, or tragedy, to find out what's behind closed doors. But we're in Cambridge. We'll open another door if what behind the door isn't to our liking. Who would have guessed that behind the door 2 years ago, last March, we had this COVID epidemic that maybe be leveling off. Maybe we can live with it. Go to Quaker meeting again, or whatever services, or dances, or plays. We would love to. With an urge that surges, exploding buried ore. What's down inside? What in you could you dare safely explode? Walt Whitman said, if I contradict myself very well, I contradict myself. I am vast and contain multitudes. Even my hero Joshua, his real name, his Greek name was Jesus, who amazingly said also, love your enemies. It's easy to love your friends. Imagine, it was challenging for him. He kept telling people they're going to go to Sodom, but he had that in him, just like his dad, who when broken-hearted sees his fiancée pregnant, has a dream that it was God who impregnated her. And he believes the dream and takes her back. Love your enemies. Joshua could have learned it from his dad. And this power we know the story, wanted to crucify him. And he loved the power anyway. And it might have changed this sacrifice-wanting God into a more loving God. I'll love you to death. I'll kill you with kindness. Thy will be done. It is accomplished. And maybe God, this power that's a shower, thanks to Jeshua, becomes more loving. Loved even when he's torturing and killing Jeshua. With an urge that surges, exploding buried ore, flying us with the birds who were once dinosaurs.